Welcome to Smithtown Spotlight. I'm Bobby Rabbit, and today we are at a fantastic Italian restaurant right here in Nesconset, Ragazzi Italian Kitchen and Bar. We're going to go inside and speak with Roger Bedoya, who's the co-owner of Ragazzi, and find out a little bit more about the restaurant. Then we'll meet Dina Fensa, who's the general manager, and she's going to talk us through a couple of their most popular dishes.
Hi, my name is Roger Bedoya. I'm co-owner of Ragazzi Italian Kitchen and Bar, located at 2950 Middle Country Road in Nesconset, directly across the street from the Smith Haven Mall. My partner, Dr. Salvatore Trezera, and myself just dedicated the last year of our lives building this beautiful restaurant. I've been in the business almost 25 years. My sister got me in the business back in Dallas, Texas, back in the 80s. And then I had two restaurants in Huntington, Mangiamo and Tello. Before that, I used to manage Cafe Bacci in Westbury and Cafe Spasso in Call Place, which was owned by the Cavallero family, who basically taught me most of the things I do know about the restaurant industry today. I looked at a lot of locations, but I felt this location directly across the street from a mall in an area that didn't have that many Italian restaurants or bars in the area. My partner and I, after hours and hours of research, we came to the conclusion this was our spot, this was going to be our home. We hired Sharon Delago and Associates. They were our designer, and the three of us combined, we came up with the concept for the restaurant, and we're very happy how it came out. We're very proud of how it came out. Your menu is actually the most important and most difficult part of your restaurant. We probably looked at over 100 different restaurants, their menus. We took great ideas from those restaurants as well as my past venture restaurants that I was involved with. And I'd say probably for every dish that's on our menu, we tried it 5 or 6 different ways. So we probably did upwards to almost 1,000 different dishes before we came up with our menu. Our phone number is 631-265-8200. We do take reservations for parties of 4 or more, and it's highly recommended. And now what I'd like to do is take you into our kitchens and introduce you to Dina and Fausto, my manager and head chef, and they're going to show you how we make 2 of our favorite dishes on our menu. Arancini, which is a rice ball dish, which is wonderful, and a Gambrietti Ragazzi, which is our most popular shrimp dish on the menu.
So we are here in the kitchen of Ragazzi, and we are here with the general manager, Dina Fensa. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to our kitchen.
And we are making today?
Arancini.
Arancini.
Actually, it's my grandmother's recipe.
Okay.
She
very
doesn't
good.
make it the traditional Sicilian way. She makes it Naples, the Naples style.
Okay.
Which is smaller. They got a lot of cheese in them. It's different than the Sicilian style. The Sicilian style, they put peas and chopped meat in the middle, and they're really big.
Right.
These are tiny, and they actually make the most perfect appetizer. So you start off, and you have a little bit of rice. Now, it's very important that you use a certain kind of rice, which we've tested it in my family for many generations. You have to use a Carolina rice, which is a little more starchier and it'll stick together when you're making the bowl. So you take about a cup of rice and you put it in your bowl. And a cup of rice will probably make you around 20 to 30 rice balls, depending on what size you want to make them. Okay. And then what you do is you kind of just start throwing it in the mixing bowl. Yeah, it's very simple. It's about 1 cup of rice. It's about a cup of ricotta cheese, and the ricotta cheese really makes it very creamy. And you want that in a rice bowl. You want it to be creamy.
Are exact measurements needed, or can you just kind of
eyeball it, throw it in the bowl,
see how it
taste it, and see how it mixes up. Okay. So then what you do is you take about a half a cup of grated Pecorino Romano cheese. Pecorino Romano was very important too. It's actually a sheep's milk cheese, and it just gives it a nice flavor too, along with your ricotta cheese. Right. And then what you do is you cut up your mozzarella into tiny cubes. Okay. And you just kind of throw it in there too. It's probably about a 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese cubed.
Is there any particular brand of mozzarella, or because I see you have the whole milk ricotta? Does it matter if people use part skim?
Well, no, you have to always use the full. Always use the whole. It just makes it taste better. And then for a little green, we throw in some fresh chopped basil, which always makes it fresh and nice. Yep. And then you do a little bit of salt. It's about maybe a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
And then some black pepper, and black pepper too is very important. So you want to be generous with the black pepper. And then what you do is you kind of just mix in. So come on, get on your gloves.
Oh, okay.
We're going to put you to work. You're in our kitchen.
I had a feeling that was coming. So.
We're going to employ you for the hour that you're
for
here.
The hour. Here we
and
go.
we're going to mix it up. All right? So I'm going to start off for you. You just kind of do this, like I do with my kids in the kitchen. And you just want to make sure that it's moist.
Right.
So you see it's a little dry now?
Okay.
So what I would do now is I would add a little bit of regatta. All right, so now I'll let you do it.
Let me get in here.
All right, so come on, get in there. Mush it around. Dip from the bottom of the bowl up. Perfect. And then maybe a little bit more black pepper. Black pepper is important. It gives it some nice flavor. And even, you see, if it's a little dry, you just add a little bit more.
Just want to make sure everything's
cheese.
coated
cheese
nicely.
Cheese does not hurt anything.
Right.
Cheese is good.
More cheese
Cheese is good. So you see, you kind of have to, like you said, eyeball it and kind of see how it works. How sometimes the rice will absorb more of the moisture from the regatta cheese.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you just keep adding. See, so now this is perfect. So you grab about a little bit over a tablespoon of the rice.
Okay.
And what you do is you kind of press it together. And you just keep rolling. Roll yourself a nice ball. I know it's not easy sometimes to do it when you have gloves on. So you take your bowl, let me see. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, and you put it in your egg wash, just like this. And then you put it in the breadcrumbs. And make sure you really coat them really well in the breadcrumbs.
Nice dredge.
Yes, because then what ends up happening, you put them in the fryer sometimes, and then it'll all fall apart, and you don't want that to happen. And then you just roll it again, just like this. Make sure you get a nice round ball, and then you're done. So let's see you do one.
There
you go. Shake it off a little bit. Perfect.
Drop it in.
Drop it in.
Roll it around.
And then roll it. See, let me see. You're a natural.
How's that?
I'm going to bring you to my kitchen. All right, so then what you do is you come over to the fryer.
Okay.
And we're going to put them in the fryer later here. The oil is about 350 degrees.
Okay.
And then you fry it for about, I would say, 5 minutes.
Okay.
You want the outside to get really nice and crispy and golden brown. Here at Ragazzi, we actually serve the rice balls with the side of tomato sauce for dipping.
Okay.
At home, we just eat them off the fryer because they're so good. But here, we give you a little extra tomato sauce. You do a little dip. It's actually really delicious.
Now, I'm thinking that you prepare that sauce here.
We make everything here at Ragazzi from the freshest of ingredients. And our chef, Fausto Storto, our head chef for over 25 years, is actually going to demonstrate for us today how to make his homemade tomato sauce.
Excellent.
So what you do is you take your saute pan and you add a little bit of butter and a little bit of shallots to the saute pan. The shallots actually give the sauce a nice and sweet flavor. So you melt your butter. And you know, one of the most important things that you could do at an Italian restaurant is make a very good tomato sauce. And this is actually a very good accompaniment to the rice ball dish, to the arancini. So you make the butter melt in your saute pan. You don't want to burn it, so you want to keep it at a medium flame. And then, as we said, you just kind of take the shallots and saute them, let them get a little bit translucent. And that shallot flavor will give the sauce a really nice sweetness. So then Fausto's going to come over and he's going to add a little bit of crushed whole tomatoes. And we take whole tomatoes here and we actually run them through the food mill. Always has to be whole because it gives it a better flavor again. A little salt, a little pepper, a little basil. Back to the fire, and you're done. And then what you do is we do 6 rice balls, 2 in order. And they're actually really good. People say that, you know, they're nice and small.
Right.
So people say that, you know, they just can't stop at one. I have customers come in over and over again just to order this dish.
I was going to say, usually in pizzerias, if you get them, or some other Italian restaurants, that you get like 3, but they're bigger.
Right. They're
like baseball size. And these are more, you know, appetizer
like golf
size,
balls. And then what you do is you just put your little dipping sauce on the side. And you know, this is a finger food.
Right.
And they're gonna be hot,
I was
so you
gonna
have to
say,
be careful.
It just came out of the hot oil.
They just come out of the hot oil. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take one. You don't need a fork for this. It's like rustic Italian food. Take your little rice bowl, give it a little dip, and give it a little taste. See if we can make Grandma proud here. I have actually one customer that calls it to go all the time, this order.
That is fantastic.
It's good, right? It's like a big cheese ball, right?
I was going to say,
rice
it's
ball.
very cheesy, but it's not too heavy. You think with a lot of the rice and everything and starch, it'd be a little heavy. It's very light, but it's very, very good, very tasty.
Great, thank you. I'm telling you, you can't stop at one.
Grandma would be proud.
Grandma would be proud.
She would be very proud.
Great.
Okay, so Dina, we've made our rice balls.
Yes.
Grandma's special recipe.
Absolutely.
We've made the tomato sauce with Fausto. Now we are going to make gambaretti ragazzi.
Gambaretti ragazzi, you got it right.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Actually, gambaretti means shrimps in Italian, so it's actually shrimp ragazzi.
Okay.
So what you do is we take the shrimp and we dredge it in a little bit of flour. It's a little seasoned flour, our own little secret recipe. And then you take the shrimp and you put it in an egg wash. You just beat some eggs up and put it in there. And then you get your pan nice and hot with a little bit of olive oil in there. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the shrimp and you're going to put them in and you're going to start sauteing them on either side. And what this does, it gives it a nice coating and it's very, very light. And you probably want to cook the shrimps about 1 or 2 minutes on each side. The thing that you never want to do is overcook a shrimp. You want them to get nice and golden brown in the oil, and then you're going to flip them to the other side. We use nice sized shrimp here. We actually put 6 shrimp to an order with the sauce over linguine. So you see Fausto's actually turning them to the other side, and it actually got a nice golden brown color on it. That's exactly what you want. It's actually one of my favorites because when we show you how to do the sauce in a few minutes, there's a sweetness to it, but there's actually a little kick to it. In Italian, we call it like a fra diavolo, and that means devil in Italian, so it's got a little spice to it too. It's really good. So what you do is you drain your oil off, you keep the shrimps in the pan. See, they have a nice golden brown color to them.
Very nice.
And we're gonna get out of Fausto's way over here. You put a little butter in the pan now, and we use an unsweetened butter, a little bit of shallots, which actually gives the sauce, again, a nice sweetness, a little prosciutto, chopped up, and you just toss it around the pan. You want to cook the shallots. Again, you don't want to ever leave the shallots raw. And they're actually chopped very fine in there so that you can cook them really quickly in the kitchen. Now you add a little bit of cherry peppers, both red and green, and they're sliced, and that gives it the little kick, the little spice that you need. Excuse me, I'm in your way, Fausto. Then you add a little bit of plum tomatoes to it too. Again, it's whole tomatoes that he crushes with his hands. Put that back on the fire. Cook that a couple of minutes. And now you add a little bit of the creaminess to it, which is actually the element of this dish that makes it so nice. It makes it so smooth. You put a little bit of heavy cream in there, about a half a cup. And then we're just gonna mix it around, cook that sauce nice and good. You see it gives it a nice pink sauce.
Right.
So now you have your shallots, your butter, your salt, your pepper, your tomatoes, and a little bit of cream in there, and you just cook it off a little bit. And it gives it a nice, silky, creamy, decadent taste. It's really delicious.
It almost looked like in a vodka sauce, but
yes,
it's
exactly.
spicy.
Well, it's a basis of a vodka
Right.
sauce. Very good. You see, you're
know
pretty
a
good
little
in the
bit. I know a
kitchen.
little
He's
bit.
pretty good in the kitchen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do that. You cook that a little bit more. You want to kind of reduce the sauce a little bit. And we're going to do that over linguine. And you take the linguine with some of the sauce that we've mixed together.
Okay.
And Fausto actually has mixed the sauce with a little bit of Pecorino Romano cheese again. Again, a little bit of cheese never hurts.
Right, absolutely.
You take a little basil, you add it to your sauce, and then he's going to give you 5 shrimp actually here with the dish, right next to your linguine.
Right.
He's going to pour a little bit of the sauce, nice and hot and creamy, and that's your dish.
Wow.
You want to give it a little bit of a taste?
Don't mind if I do, actually.
All right. For you.
Thank you.
Careful, it's hot. As I would tell my kids, you got to blow on it a little bit.
Looks fantastic.
Right? It's so yummy. Actually, it's one of my favorite dishes to eat at night after I'm done with a long shift, is this dish. Although I shouldn't be eating pasta at 10 o'clock at night.
That's fantastic.
Right? It's a little
That
creamy,
really is.
got that little kick from
Has a little bit of a spice to
right?
it, a little bit of a kick, but
and
it
the
doesn't
sweetness from the
overpower
shallots,
it.
yes.
But it definitely is very, you can still taste the shrimp. That's fantastic.
Great. I'm so glad you like
Very
it.
good.
One of my favorites
Very
too.
good. I don't want to be a gaboon and just dive right in, but
Yeah.
I would love to have some more of that.
Yeah, I like the words. See, you use the Italian words
I'm
too.
Italian, I know a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Smithtown Spotlight. And remember, if you're ever in the Nesconset area and looking for some great Italian food and a beautiful atmosphere, check out Ragazzi's Italian Kitchen and Bar. And just a tip, make a reservation. For Smithtown Spotlight, I'm Bobby Rabbit.